When Claire was around, I spent all my time holed up in my room to avoid talking to her. Meanwhile, she'd take over the living room, hoping to strike up a conversation with her unfriendly roommate. But one day, she stopped waiting for me to talk. Suddenly, she was in front of her laptop all day, and I noticed she was trying to hide the screen from me. One night, heading to the kitchen, I found her laptop left on the coffee table, and I took a glimpse. It was a dating site. Snooping on her profile, I saw she was 35 years old and gorgeous. So this is what she's doing. She's starting to get over her ex-husband. She came back and sat back down at her laptop. At first, she looked amused and even laughed out loud. But then she got pissed and started throwing insults.
Fuck you, you bastard. Womanizer, chimpanzee.
During one of my trips to the kitchen, I saw her trying on clothes in front of the mirror.
I'm not so bad after all. This dress still fits.
She finally decided to take off the mask and go on a real date.
I'm going out, Lola. I might be coming back late. I'm not sure I'm coming back at all, really.
She came back an hour later, totally dejected. She went to her room and came back with a bottle of vodka.
He didn't even give me a chance. The bastard. The jerk. Guys only care about looks. He didn't even let me talk. He left me standing in the street. I just wanted to have a drink with him and see if there was any magic.
The woman started drinking. No glass, no ice, no mixer.
I used to be a very attractive woman, you know. All men wanted to sleep with me. I was so happy.
Yeah, me too. At a certain age, you've been through so much. It's hard to just say I'm happy.
I never thought I'd end up like this, Lola. I thought my marriage would last forever. I never stopped loving my husband. I still love him. I'll never forgive him for what he did to me.
She started crying, and I have to admit, I immediately looked for an excuse to lock myself back in my room. I didn't want her to drag me into her bitter abyss. I had my own problems. I hadn't heard from Charlie or Alina for more than a week. What kind of love triangle was that? I went back to my novel, and I could hear Claire ranting again in the living room.
Damn son of a bitch, piece of degenerate crap. Go screw your grandmother, you bastard.
With that background noise, I finally went to sleep. The next morning, to my surprise, Claire had bounced back. I found her with her daughter, who looked just like the woman from Claire's profile on the dating site.
That stupid father of yours doesn't know what he's missing. He'll do bad with his tramp because he's an idiot, a chauvinist, and a fat slob. I, on the other hand, am still looking good. Just yesterday, I had a date with another guy, you know. Lots of guys want to go out with me.
Then she started lecturing her daughter.
Listen to me. I know more about life. I've lived more years than you. Watch out for your boyfriend, 'cause you can't trust men. They're all the same. They're scum.
That afternoon, she was back at her laptop. Then it got dark, and at some point, I heard the door open. Claire had left without saying goodbye. Not even half an hour had gone by when I heard Claire again.
Lola, come out. I want to introduce you to a friend.
I rushed out, more curious and more bored than the night before. Then I saw him, and I thought maybe I had to try those online dating apps myself.
This is Kyle, Lola. Isn't he handsome?
Maybe out of her league.
Well, we're gonna have to leave you now.
They both went into her bedroom. It looked like they really liked each other. And then...
Harder, harder, fuck me harder, you bastard.
Good Lord, the way she screamed. But after about half an hour, they started arguing.
Stay the night, come on.
No, that costs extra.
At least fuck me again.
That costs extra, Mom.
Come on, don't be silly.
No, I can't. That costs extra. You'd have to pay more.
I hadn't read a single line of my book. The only thing that was fully awake and dominating was my hearing. The guy came out of the room, escaping from the clutches of his passionate lover.
That woman is crazy.
Claire came out right after he left. She forced a smile, trying not to look defeated.
You've got to be careful with these young guys, Lola. They're too passionate. They never have enough. You tell them to stop, and they get mad. The guy wanted to go again. But I'm too old for that. I'm not young anymore. He wanted to stay the night. And if my daughter shows up tomorrow, what then? I told him he couldn't stay, and he got mad and left. These young guys fall in love so quickly, Lola. You gotta be careful. Listen to me. I've got experience.
She went back to her room and came out with her bottle of vodka. Her face looked worse each time, more heartbroken. She sat back down on the couch and kept ranting about guys.
Men, I can't stand them. I don't understand them.
I think I understand that guy perfectly well. How much did you pay? He was a kid, Claire, and damn handsome. I wouldn't have been able to get a guy like that either. Maybe I'll call him myself one of these nights. We started laughing, and that totally took the edge off the whole thing. We toasted to women.
Yes, for women. Down with men. Down with that son of a bitch, my ex-husband.
Of course, Claire. Down with that man who left you for a floozy.
Now Lewis lost his job, you know. Screw him.
Yes, Claire, screw him. Let him go unemployed.
He acted so important because he studied medicine at the university. He kept telling everyone he was a professor of gynecology and obstetrics at the NYU. Well, now he's unemployed. Screw him.
Lewis, a professor of gynecology and obstetrics. Don't fuck with me, Claire. If she'd known that the girl he supposedly dumped her for was me, she would have totally lost it. Don't miss the next episode, 'cause my love triangle's on the verge of falling apart, and I'm finally gonna sleep with Charlie. Find my story also on Amazon.